These are good people. And they run the gamut of parties. It doesn't matter to them, at least not as I see it anymore. What matters to them is integrity and honesty in their candidates and politicians. You saw a few weeks ago in a Rasmussen poll that if the Tea Party had leadership and had a party itself, it would beat both parties. What's that tell you? Well, I'm not about to be concerned or start a third party. I think we need to take back the Republican Party and make it what it once was. Make it a Reagan Republic, conservative party where we will win again. That's what we need to do. So what I'm saying here today is we join together. We join forces. I've spoken in front of libertarian groups, liberty groups. I've been in front of independent groups, certainly GOP groups, all walks of life. The message is resounding, and it is accepted by all of them. We have a common unity right now. The unifier is certainly the fiscal issue. The spending, out of control spending, and what's going on in the state of New Hampshire and also our country is untenable. It can't continue. But worse than that is the loss of liberty and freedom we're confronted with. I don't feel it's about nationalized health care. And I don't feel it's about cap and trade. I feel it's about control. I feel it's about the desire for control. That's what's going on here. We now have this happening here in the state of New Hampshire. We have an administration in this state that is more than willing to tax small businesses into oblivion. The LLC tax was passed in the middle of the night. There wasn't any hearings at all regarding this tax. You're supposed to have 3 or 4 hearings by law. Ignored. They just did it. So now they're having all these hearings post-approval. And they're seeing firsthand how angry people are at this. And then, several days ago, what happens? A committee votes along party lines to elicit a gun ban in state property here, outside and around the state property, up in Walker House and at this building and the Capitol building. And of course, legislation was presented, I hope it goes nowhere, Monday to expand that gun ban. Folks, that's against our Constitution. It is completely unconstitutional, and our rights to keep and bear arms are finite. They don't stop when you hit the borderline of the property line of state property. We have the right to defend ourselves wherever we are and wherever we go in the state of New Hampshire. Section 2A of the state constitution is specific. It gives us the right to protect ourselves, our families, our property, and our state. It's broad and it's finite, and I will absolutely and categorically tell you that if any legislation like that passes, if I become governor, it will be repealed as quickly as possible. You know, when I talk about bringing the Republican Party back to its roots, I really mean that. But I also want to say that the Republican Party, or for that matter, even the Democratic Party, but mostly the Republican Party, we're not going to win elections without considering the Tea Party movement. We've got to join together and make sure we're one. So I'm here to tell you, with me, you get 2 for the price of 1. People ask me, why are you doing this? Well, I can tell you, it's not politics for me, not ego. And believe me, there's a lot of other things I'd probably rather be doing. But I consider myself a patriot. That's why I'm doing it. You know, we have to take the states back, and I say that plurally, before we can really elicit change and take the country back. Yes, we can take Congress back, but the problem is greater than that. The states have got to start pushing back. I believe in the 10th Amendment. It's time for us to push back on the federal government and their ever-growing encroachment on our freedoms and our liberties. Capitalism. I'm a private sector guy all the way, but I believe in capitalism and free enterprise. And I believe in providing immediate tax relief, should I be elected, for small business in this state. I would go. I would push to repeal the business enterprise tax. I would definitely repeal the LLC tax should it continue and not be repealed beforehand. I would revamp the business profits tax. Think about it. Now, I'm a businessman. I've experienced this firsthand for over 30 years. I speak to you firsthand. The business profits tax is 8.5% right now. Small businesses can't afford it. When you look at sub-S corps, if you look at LLCs now, proprietorships and what have you, and all this money flows through, in a sub-S corp, it flows through to me, profits and/or losses. And I report that on my personal income statement. But folks, if some of you in this room, I'm sure, are businessmen and women. You don't literally get to keep all that money. You basically have it charged to you on your tax return, but you leave most of it in the business so that you continue to meet payroll and continue to buy capital equipment. That's how it works. It's a very misleading thing when you look and say, oh, you know, Jack might have made $250,000. No, you didn't. That's because it came down to me on the income statement. I maybe took home 1/3 of that or 1/4 of that to live off of, but basically the rest stayed right there. So here's the deal. How about lowering the percentage of the business profits tax, the higher the profit? Let's incentivize businesses to make more money. What happens? You watch. Revenues will go up because business owners will be less apt to try like the Dickens to avoid the tax. They'll feel it's fairer. And I, for one, agree that we should all pay our fair share. Keyword fair. So I'm for lowering the business profits tax as the incremental profits go up to incentivize small businesses. I'll cut welfare programs. And welfare is meant to be a help up, temporary period of time. It's not meant to be a way of life. And we have turned it into that in this state. We have people moving from Massachusetts to New Hampshire because we now have a better welfare system. Never thought I'd see the day, but that's what's happening. So we're going to take a good hard look at that. If you're able to work, you're going to work. I believe in personal responsibility. I come from the school of hard knocks. I've been through a lot in my life. People say to me, well, this is going to be really difficult. Well, yeah, but you know what? I've been through a lot worse. I've been through a lot worse. I can deal with this. I intend to reduce the budget by 5% a year for 6 years. No department head will have the opportunity to argue about or complain about not knowing what I want. We'll constrict government. They'll know way in advance what we're going to try to do and how. I'm going to help them with that. I'm not going to ask them to carry that entire burden. We're going to work together to come up with a way to accomplish that. First year it might be even deeper, but after that we're going to shoot for a 5% reduction over the following 6 years. I believe in upholding the state and U.S. Constitution. As I said, I believe in the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms. I believe in the oath I took as a military man, a very young military man, many years ago. And that oath was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.